Welcome to Storytime for Home Time with me, James Mayhew. Today we're going to have an upside down story. I'm going to tell a story from Russia, and this is all about a boy, a prince, who gets turned into a bumblebee. Long ago in Russia there was a king, or a tsar. His name was Tsar Sultan, and he longed for a wife. He searched all over Russia, but he couldn't find anybody who was just right. At last he came to the very last house in Russia. And inside there lived 3 sisters. And they were called Lisa, Katrina, and Militrissa. And they were there with their cousin Barbarika. And Barbarika was telling them that the Tsar was looking for a wife. And Lisa said, well, if the Tsar married me, I'd make the very best shirts he'd ever worn, beautiful shirts, and he'd be very, very comfortable. Katrina said, that's nothing. If he married me, I'd cook him the best food, bake the finest breads and the most delicious cakes. And then they said to the youngest sister, Militrissa, what would you do? Oh, she said, well, I'm not very good at cooking and weaving, but if the Tsar married me, I think I'd have a baby boy, a prince. And that would be my gift for him. Now, when the Tsar heard this, he liked it very much, because he wanted a son, an heir to the throne. So he opened the door and stepped into the house, and he chose Militrissa as his wife. He went back to the palace with her and married her the very same day. But he also took with her the 2 other sisters, Lisa and Katrina. And he said to them, you will be my royal cook and my royal weaver. He thought that would make them happy to have important jobs at the palace. But I'm afraid to say they were terribly jealous of their sister Militrissa. Now soon the king had to go away on a battle, so off he went on his horse. And while he was gone, the sisters and that horrible cousin Barbarika, they began plotting and planning. Soon it was time for Militrissa to have her baby boy. So they wrote to the Tsar on the battlefield, the horrible sisters did. They sent a message to say, your wife hasn't produced a baby, she's produced a strange creature. I'm not sure if it's a puppy or a kitten, or maybe it's a loaf of bread. It's very odd. They thought the king would be so angry and cast them away. But he wasn't. The king wrote back, full of love and kindness, and said, be kind to Militrissa, look after her. Well, the sisters found the letter, they tore it up, and they wrote another one, pretending it was from the Tsar. Oh dear, and this letter said, put the queen and her strange baby into a barrel and throw them into the sea. Well, nobody likes to argue with the Tsar. They thought this letter really was from the Tsar, so the guards put the queen, Militrissa, and the baby prince into a barrel and threw them into the sea. Splash! And they sailed away, far, far away. Now, the barrel didn't sink. It floated through the sky. Now the barrel didn't sink. It floated far, far away across the sea for many, many months. And the prince was special. He didn't grow by the hour. He grew by the day. He got bigger and bigger and stronger, and soon they reached a desert island, and he was able to break open the barrel and jump onto the island. Now, on the island, they met a swan. The swan was being chased by a terrible eagle, and the young prince, whose name was Gwydon, he attacked the eagle with a bow and arrow that he made from a branch of a tree. And having shot down the eagle, the swan came forward and spoke. Prince Gwydon was very surprised. He wasn't used to swans speaking to him. And she said, "Prince, you have saved me from a terrible wizard, and in return, I can grant you 3 wishes." "Well," said the prince, "first of all, we need somewhere to live." "Easy," said the swan. "Look to the sea at dawn." So the next morning, when the prince and his mother woke up on the island, where there was nothing except the tree, suddenly a beautiful city appeared with huge golden towers. The swan appeared and said, "This is the city of Ledinettes, Lollipop City, and you will be king here." Gwydon and his mother were very excited, and they went into the city, and there were lots of people living there, and they welcomed them. The city was guarded by 30 silver knights, and it had all sorts of magical things in it, including a squirrel that could crack golden nuts. But still, the prince Gwydon wasn't happy. He went to see the swan again and said, "I need my second wish, please. I want to go back to Russia. I want to find out why my father threw me into the sea. What did I do wrong? Didn't he like me?" "Now that's a long, long way," said the swan. "Russia is far, far away. But if you wait, perhaps somebody will come along who can help you." And the very next day a ship sailed by. This was a ship carrying sailors and merchants. They knew the island, but they were very surprised to see this city there, because there had been no city before. "What kind of magic is this?" they asked. "It's the magical swan," explained Prince Gwydon. "And in the city there are squirrels cracking golden nuts, and there's an army of silver soldiers guarding the city." "This is extraordinary," said the sailors. "We must tell everybody when we get home." "And where is home?" said Gwydon. "Why, we're from Tsar Sultan's realm. We're from Russia," said the sailors. "Let me come with you," said the prince. "Oh, there's no room," said the sailors. "Our ship is full of gifts for the Tsar. I'm sorry, but if you got on board the ship, it would sink." And so Gwydon went to see the swan, and she said, "I knew someone would come to help us. Now, I'm going to turn you into a bumblebee, and you'll be so small you can hide away on the ship." And with a flap of her wings, the prince got smaller and smaller and smaller, and he turned into a bumblebee. He flew all the way to the ship, and he hid away so that nobody could see him. And the ship sailed all the way to Russia, and when the ship arrived in Russia, the king was very excited to see all the gifts and the beautiful things they brought, spices and food and carpets from Asia, lovely things. But what he wanted most of all was stories. And so the merchants, sailors, told the king stories of the places they had visited. And Tsar Sultan said, "What was the most exciting place you visited?" "Oh, that was the island where the city grew out of the sea, Lollipop City, with a squirrel that cracked golden nuts, and a magic swan, and an army of silver knights." When Tsar Sultan heard this, he said, "Oh, what an amazing place! I must visit." Now, the sisters were listening to all of this, and the horrible cousin Barbarica. And the sailors said, "On this island there's a beautiful woman and her son, and the son rules Lollipop City, and he's very, very handsome. He looks a little bit like you, the Tsar. When the sisters heard this, and Barbarica heard this, they thought, oh no, what if Militrissa survived? What if the barrel didn't sink? They said to the king, the Tsar Sultan, you mustn't go to the island. It would be a waste of your time. Why? There's nothing special about this island. But what about the squirrel that cracks golden nuts? Said the merchants. Oh, that's nothing, said Barbarica. What about the silver knights? Said the merchants. Still, nothing special at all, said Lisa. And what about the swan princess? Oh, that's not so special, sniffed Katrina. The bee buzzed around. He was angry. He stung the tongues of the lying aunts, the two sisters of Militrissa. And Tsar Sultan said, I shall go. No one will stop me. And he jumped onto his ship. The sisters and the horrible cousin jumped on the ship too. But they couldn't stop him. He wanted to go and see this magical island for himself. And so he sailed away on a ship. Now the bumblebee prince, Guidon, flew and flew and flew back to the island as fast as his wings would carry them. And when he got there, he told the swan what had happened. This is very good news, said the swan. Now your father is coming to the island. But you still look sad. Yes, said Guidon, I am sad. Everyone keeps talking about the king and my mother being back together again. What about me? Will I ever meet anyone and fall in love? I wish I could meet a beautiful princess as kind as you are. The swan flapped her wings and suddenly revealed that she in fact was a princess herself. When you saved me from the eagle, she said, the eagle was really a horrible wizard and I was a princess under a magic spell. And now your love for me has broken the spell. Prince Guidon was so happy he embraced the swan princess, and they ran off down to the seaside, and there a ship was coming in, and of course it was Tsar Sultan's ship, and he jumped ashore, and there he saw Militrissa in Lollipop City, and at last they were reunited, and the whole story was told. As for the wicked aunts and Barbarica, well, everyone was so happy that even they were forgiven, and a great feast took place in Lollipop City. Everybody drank a kind of drink called mead, because it's made from honey, and they all ate honey cakes to celebrate how they'd been helped by the swan and by the bumblebee prince. Now, there's a very famous piece of music that goes with that story, and it's called The Flight of the Bumblebee. Would you like to hear a little bit of it? Here it comes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you'd like to win this picture of the Bumblebee Prince, you know what to do. Do a picture, post it on social media, on Facebook or on Twitter, and I'll choose a favourite and pop it in the post. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Storytime for Home Time. Bye.